am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies.
Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're Nerd is the New Bully. I'm your host, Leroy, a.k.a. the Hamburger Pimp, with my co-host.
This is Eli, a.k.a. Domac Rex.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. What is it, a dinosaur or something?
That's my Star Wars name generator name.
Oh, they got a Wu-Tang generator and a Star Wars generator?
Yeah, one of the many Star Wars generators, yeah.
Okay.
I'm also Lando Skywalker on another one.
Okay, well, let's keep going from that. So, yeah, we're back with another episode, and, yeah, we're about to close out the month of November, and, Eli, you know what that means at the end of November, right? Well, the end of October.
Thanksgiving?
The last day of October. Your podcast has been talking about it for nonstop for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, Halloween.
Halloween.
You gonna be Black Panther again?
To quote Busta Rhymes in Halloween 2.0 Resurrection, whatever the fuck, I don't know. Yeah, so should we do the do's and don'ts of Halloween again, Eli?
If you would like to.
Okay, I'll do my part and you do your part, and hopefully that will cover most of the bases. So yeah, like I said,
do it every year.
We do it every year, but we got to, because repetition is the father of learning. So let's do this. So yes, like we said last year, if you dress up as Halloween, let's say you dress up as another character as another race. Oh, well, I'm gonna cover my bases. As a black character, I'm gonna let Eli handle his in a second. But as you dress up as a black character, it is okay to dress up as a black character if you're not black. That's okay. But do not, and I repeat, do not wear blackface. Don't do it. Don't even think about it. Don't think maybe this one qualifies, maybe this counts. No, just don't do it. Matter of fact, don't even wear an afro. If you're doing a black Vulcan costume, and you can wear the short hot pants, you can do that. But don't wear the afro. Don't do it. So
yeah,
be white Vulcan. There you go. All right,
yeah.
Eli, I'm gonna let you take over. You take your part.
Yeah. No matter what football team you see on TV, no matter what Party City is selling, don't dress up as an Indian.
Like, just don't.
Just don't. And even though your kid wants to, and you're like all offended because you don't want to tell your kid not to do something fucked up, well, be a fucking parent and tell him to do the right thing. Like if your kid threw a fucking rock through a window, you'd smack the shit out of him, right? Or figuratively, emotionally. You tell the kid that don't do that shit. Well, the same thing applies to being racist. Yeah, don't let your kid be racist for Halloween. Yeah, it's funny. We got to do this every year because just today I saw a video on my feed. All the natives sharing the shit all over my Facebook. A black dude went into an Indian casino with his white girlfriend.
He got to be black. Oh, now I feel responsible for him.
No, don't be, man.
It's like when you turn the TV and you see a black serial killer, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Well, let this motherfucker know. He went into an Indian casino with his white girlfriend, and she was dressed up with an Indian headdress and all that shit. And the natives confronted them, and they had this big old fucking shouting match and shit. And then he ended up getting kicked out of the casino, and he actually did the whoop whoop hollering and shit as he was walking out. And shit.
Oh shit! Oh.
I was like, man, this motherfucker's just trying to get some pussy. That's the only reason.
Right. He was just trying to, act, like a tough guy in front of his girl. That's all.
Yeah, he's just trying to get some pussy. And didn't his mama tell him about white girls and shit? That they're just going to call the cops?
Did you not watch Get Out?
That was just today.
Oh wow. Typical Tuesday in the life of Eli. Because that actually, Eli, that was the same scenario I was going to paint for you, because that happened to me last year. We talked about it, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. For instance, like if I'm at a party, and I see a white girl wearing, like a slutty Pocahontas outfit, but her boyfriend is a black dude bigger than me. What do I do in that situation?
Hey,
I don't have a whole team of Native Americans behind me to, hey, don't do that. It's just me in a bullshit Black Panther outfit.
Be safe. That's the number one rule of Halloween is be safe.
Eli, I thought you were gonna like send me, give me some bad advice, like, no, fuck his ass up.
You tell him Eli said suck his dick.
I can see that. Fuck you and Eli. You get throw me out the damn room. That being said, do's and don'ts, that's good. After that, we can get on the Turkey Day. We can start planning for the holiday season because November right around the corner, and we're just gonna blaze right through the pretty much the rest of 2019. Yeah. Eli, we got to get our best of the decade list going.
Oh damn!
Not now. We're not gonna do it now.
That's right. It is like a decade or a decade.
Yeah. Like when 1999 happened, it was a big deal, mainly because we thought Armageddon was happening.
Yeah.
But Y2K for you young kids that don't know what the fuck's going on. But this decade, just like people just don't even realize that. Yes, it's an end of a decade. It's gone.
Damn.
Like
yeah.
2009,
Like it felt like around
the.
Yeah, felt like just around the corner. It was 2012. And we thought the world was going to end again and shit.
Right, I'm watching the NBA playoffs. The NBA season is back now, and all of the players they're announcing their birthday, stuff like that. They weren't even born in Y2K. Like these are people I'm watching. I'm like, oh fuck, I feel old as fuck, man.
Yeah, Y2K.
Yeah.
My kid wasn't born yet. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk about Y2K later on, probably like towards the end of the year, when to kind of freshen up to let people know what's talking about. That being said, we actually move to not the podcast. Eli, I want to do a review before we jump into the podcast.
All right.
And because people forget that, we talk about comics.
I saw a movie. I could review that too, bro.
I'm gonna give you a chance. We're gonna give you a chance. I don't even know what movie you did, but you can surprise me. Okay.
All right.
So, like I said, I know people come in and tune in because they want to know about the comics and what happened on Red Hood and the Outlaws number 39. I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. It sucked. So what we do sometimes that we're all over the place with this podcast. Sometimes we like to do music reviews sometimes. And anytime a music album comes out that catch my attention, I'm just going to just briefly talk about it, just see what I think about it. And the album that came out this week was Kanye West. He's back. We canceled him, but according to Kanye, he's uncancelable. So he's going to make another album. Yeah. So he's back with the album. And Eli, this is a different avenue he's going now because Kanye decided to make a gospel album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's different. He's never done it before. But he decided to do this now.
Didn't he have a song called I Am God or some shit?
Yes. I'm going to get to that. Because that what worries me about this. So, yes, he made an album called Jesus is King. It's only like I don't have in front of me like 11 or 12 songs, something like that. All I know is that the album's only like 27 minutes long. Like an episode of Seinfeld is longer than Kanye's new album. So that's my thing. And I don't know, Eli. I don't know about Kanye about how because he pretty much burned a bridge. He pretty much done everything he could to piss off white people and black people. Like, and that's the thing. Like, they always ask like, why do we keep supporting Kanye or why do we keep doing this for Kanye? Kanye's kind of like our problem. And when our problem, I mean like black people. Like we know he's just as crazy as you all know he is, but he's our problem. So we have to kind of deal with him, So when he does make stuff like that, it makes me take a step back for a second because he been promoting this album for like the last 2 weeks, month, or something like that. And I've always noticed every time a black person, a black celebrity gets in trouble, the first thing they do is go to church or bring church into it to try to get back on the good side. Like OJ kills 2 white people, he goes to church. So now you got black people still don't believe he killed those white people.
Like an alcoholic.
Yes, but they don't do it, out of spite. They do it for the publicity. Hey, look at me, I'm in church now because they got to go to a black church. With the preacher with the jerry curl and the gold teeth, and the sunglasses. OJ didn't kill those white people. Things like that. So Kanye's doing his his tour also. And that's why I'm kind of stepping back to watching exactly how he's doing it because, okay, he's making a gospel album this year in 2019, but in 2018, last year, around this time, he made an album where he was talking about supermodels' bleached asshole and how he got the bleach on his shirt. That was last year. Nice.
Wait, was he bleaching her asshole?
I don't know. The line was confusing. I'm okay. I'm gonna quote the line. I'll talk about Jesus in a second. Let's talk about this bleach asshole.
Because usually you get with the chick with the bleach asshole after she already done it.
Well, that's what the thing. He said that he got bleach on his shirt.
Okay.
After she bleached asshole. I guess the what the fuck are we talking about, man?
We're talking about Kanye.
This is why I didn't want to talk about Kanye, but we got to. Okay, let's talk about this album. Okay, so the album itself.
The Jesus album.
The Jesus album, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so all this bullshit aside, all this weird shit that Kanye's been doing, the MAGA hats and slavery is a choice on the shit, get that shit out your head. Let's talk about how does the album.
He said
that dumb shit. That's why I say he's pissing off everybody.
Man, I remember that. Oh, God.
Right, so I'm just like, block all this shit out. It's the message, not the messenger. How does the album sound sonically? All bullshit aside. And Eli, honestly, listen to the album. It's good. It's good.
Does he do the light of the lighthouse shine on me? Let it shine.
Damn near.
Let it shine.
Yeah, like when I say this is a gospel album, this is a gospel, but it's not as gospel-y. Take it to church, Eli. But this is the thing, the album is not as gospel-y as I wanted it to be. Because the thing is, this album is good. I think Kanye is on to something. But I think this album isn't as good as it could have been. This could have been a stepping stone. This could have been a bridge to something bigger. Because the thing is about gospel, like he has some guest stars on it. He has some gospel singers on it, stuff like that. And one thing about gospel singers is that they have better singers than R&B singers. Like any gospel singer you just throw a rock at and hit can sing Beyonce out of a building.
That's because they're not mic'd. They got to scream in that church.
Exactly. That's how they train, you know. So that's why I was wishing he would take maybe a Yolanda Adams or maybe even, somebody actually a gospel singer and, put them on the album and then put an entire choir on there and maybe he do and then you would have this awesome sonic orchestral, massive stadium thing. I was hoping for that, but he didn't get that. It opened with that, with this, this choir that he has, locally that he uses, and then the rest of the album kind of just sounds like a Kanye album, but he's just screaming Jesus every other 5 seconds. So I'm thinking I'm expecting something to be this grand, huge stuff like that, but it's not there. Now there are some good songs every now and then, but it's typical Kanye stuff where I was expecting something bigger than what it was, and I don't know, maybe he needed more time to cook with this, or maybe this is his rough draft, something like that. It just felt like another album. And another reason I think he felt like he came with a gospel album because he know that us as black people can't boo him. Okay, have you ever watched Showtime and the Apollo in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know that no matter how bad you suck, if you sing a gospel song, they can't boo you. So I think he's doing this no matter how bad.
It's like when the motherfuckers testify and shit. The one guy comes back, he's been just got out of jail, trying to clean up his life. Gets up in the middle of church and starts talking about how God was good to him and shit. Right. Everybody amening him and shit, and getting the Holy Ghost dance and fainting and shit. And
yeah, and that's the thing.
You clap. You got to clap.
You got to clap, but you just killed a guy 5 weeks ago.
Yeah. Even though he's dancing in the middle of the fucking aisles and shit.
Yeah, or the other guy that went viral. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. And you're like, come on, dude. We don't believe you. You just can't pray the gay away.
I saw, what's that one? It was on YouTube, the gangster preacher or whatever.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
But I came in the name of motherfucking Jesus. I saw a meme. It said something about, hip hop heads or something listening to Kanye's West be like, and it showed a clip of
I came that guy, the Mexican with the red Jesus shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody sent me that. I was like, it is bad. I'm seeing that already. Because that's the thing that had worried me. Another thing is that Kanye is slowly slowly turning into a cult leader. It's weird you seeing it. And that's why when you said, oh, did he call himself God a few years ago? And that's why I'm wondering, listen to this album, like, is he really talking about God? Or is he talking about himself in third person and refer to himself as God?
Yeah. It ain't like the Wu-Tang God. Like
right. Like peace God. You know, like, no, not that.
Ain't like you in charge of your own destiny, God, and that's it. No, it's like, no, he thinks he created the universe. In 7 days.
Right.
That's all it took his motherfucking ass.
Yeah, Kanye rests on the
Kanye. Jesus,
right. That's why I'm like sitting back. I'm like, okay, Kanye, because I already know how crazy this guy is. So that's why I'm like listening but verifying. That's why I'm just trying to listen to the music and not hearing to this crazy shit he's talking about, because I know he's gonna slip some crazy messages in there. But I'm not trying to become one of his cult followers. You know?
Yeah, you're like the warning guy. Like in the end of all, like in all those disaster movies.
Right.
You're like the scientist that's you're seeing the meters go like, hey man, the big old firestorm is about to come, and they're like, it's gonna fine. Like in,
nobody's
like
listening.
like in Day After Tomorrow or whatever.
Right. Paul Giamatti, whoever the fuck it was.
Yeah, you're that guy. Oh shit, man, Kanye. He's got a fleet of stormtroopers. Right.
And before we all know it, we're all drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh man, yeah, but that's what it's gonna be. Oh, one more thing I want to say about this album. It's a controversy going on this album right now, but it's not the controversy you think about, other than him talking about Jesus when he talked about bleached assholes last year. Apparently, people thinking that he stole one of his songs from a Legend of Zelda game.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I looked it up today. It was who's the bad guy of Zelda? Gandalf? Not Gandalf.
I don't know, man.
Whoever the fuck bad guy in that. Something Valley. And I listened to it, and somebody actually took the beat of that song and took the beat of the Kanye song and mashed them together. I was like, this sound pretty good. Like, I play that. I want to hear Kanye rapping over Zelda beats now. But honestly, I didn't hear like Zelda. Honestly, my first instinct was that it sounded like Devil May Cry. Whatever it was, it sounded video gaming. But we just Jesus, 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 Jesus. But I just kept hearing Devil May Cry in my head or Zelda in my head, whatever like that. So I don't know. Oh, and totally unrelated, one thing that did come from this album that I do like, that he had one song where the Clips are rapping again. The Clips are like one of my favorite rap duos of all time. They haven't been together in like 2005. One of them left because he basically, became born again, gave himself to, God and stuff like that. So he just quit rapping. But because of this album, he came back. So the group is back for one song. Oh, and Kenny G is on it also.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And Kenny G, that was like one of the best parts of the album. I like Kenny. Okay, Kenny G. Now you get excited for Christmas. Now when his Christmas album comes. So yeah, overall I'm gonna give the album. I'm gonna give it 3.5. I'm gonna give it 3.5.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think I talked about that long enough. Okay. Can we move on to the actual podcast?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Eli, I think the gravy train has ended for my box office numbers. Because like Box Office Mojo has completely changed their format, and now they got this stuff hiding behind a paywall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna need you to chip in so I get. I'm just bullshit.
You can't just Google it.
That's what the Patreon is for. All right. So let's start it off with the number one movie of the week. Eli, give it to me. What is it?
Wow. Surprisingly, it says Joker is back on top.
Joker is back on top. It's insane. How the fuck did Joker get back on top? Just domestically.
I guess the Disney movie must have sucked, I guess.
But it's a Disney movie. What do you expect?
Was it Maleficent, I guess?
Yeah, that one. So that's number two. You know what I'm trying. So Joker, Maleficent, the Addams Family, which some families are upset about. I saw a video of a family walking out.
Really?
Yeah, they said it had like too many satanic messages in it.
Oh shit! I thought they were gonna be mad because Gomez was Mexican.
He was always Mexican, wasn't he? I thought.
Just saying, comic skaters like all of a sudden.
Oh
what
yeah.
the fuck?
Even though the shit's been going on for decades, now they get upset.
Gomez is what the hell? These SJWs ruining my Addams Family.
My family was black and white, which means he was white, not black and Mexican. Number 4, your movie Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay, cool.
Number 5, Countdown. What the fuck that is? I don't know.
That's that horror movie.
Oh yeah. Number 6, Black and Blue.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw that. I couldn't see it because I had to work that night, but I had plans to see it. But she may have went with somebody else.
Oh shit, man! What the
Yeah,
fuck?
Eli, I'm always fucking up, man. That's But yeah, go ahead and tell me about the movie. You go ahead and review mode. We're gonna stop the podcast right now, so you're gonna review mode.
All right, Black and Blue. Well, it's the story of a rookie cop. She basically witnesses a bunch of dirty cops murdering some drug dealers, and they try to pin it on her and shoot her. And she's on the run. She caught it all on her body cam. So basically, the movie is just a chase. She's running through the city, and she's got the cops after her, and then the dirty cops get like the gangs after her too. So she's just kind of on the run, trying to survive, trying to get back to the precinct so she can upload the footage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so this all happens like in one night?
Yeah, basically.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It was kind of like Training Day.
It sounded like Training Day. You were just describing it.
Yeah, yeah. She's a rookie. It's she was on. I remember from 28 Days Later, but I guess she's the new Moneypenny in the Bond.
Oh,
movie?
Naomi Harris.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, you know she's in the new Venom movie too. She's playing Shriek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was, what's his face? Mike Coulter is in it. Luke Cage.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in it. I felt he should have been in it a little more. There wasn't enough of him. I think he needed a little bit more to do. I wish they, he just, stereotypical thug swagger, wearing, riding in the big rides and, grill and shit like that, gold, doing that shit,
Okay.
just give him something more to do. But, it was all right. And then what's his name? What's that guy's name? He played Crossbones in Civil War.
Oh.
That guy.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's like the dirty cop. He's like the ringleader of the.
He looks like a dirty cop. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. Yeah, like action was cool. Like it was cool. Like I said, it's like another Training Day for the modern era.
Okay. You gotta slap a score on it.
Oh, 4 out of 5. Like I said, I enjoyed
pretty
it.
strong. Okay.
Oh, and I saw the Bad Boys trailer again.
But this time on the big screen. Okay, so.
Well, and the theater was packed, and it was a largely black audience.
Okay.
And the Bad Boys trailer played, and I don't think they responded very well to it.
I'm honestly, Eli, after we talked about it last podcast, I watched it again. I'm just like, just don't do it for me.
Yeah, it didn't seem to pique anybody's interest. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Funny you said to speak of the devil because number 7 is Gemini Man.
Oh.
And we've been actually getting some pretty good responses on our Gemini Man excerpt or whatever you want to call it. So
Okay.
people like that one. Was that number 8, The Lighthouse? That's the Batman movie. I'm sorry, Battison or Batman. Yeah. We haven't trademarked it yet. Whatever it is, the new guy, he's in that one.
And OG Green Goblin.
Yeah, and that too also. What is he? Volko in Aquaman? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And number 9, the current war director's cut. How the fuck you gonna make a director's cut in the theatrical version? That doesn't make any sense.
That's that movie about like Tesla and Edison or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, about yeah. I think Tom Holland's in it, isn't he?
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked interesting. I don't know.
Okay, cool. Number 10, we have Abominable. I think I said it right.
Oh, okay.
I know you told me what it is, Eli. I completely forgot about it.
Isn't it the snowman? Or
Oh, yeah, I
Yeti
think
or
you said
something?
that. Yeah. Like a cartoon or something?
Something, yeah.
Oh, well, not making any money. Probably not. Yeah, but that's the box office for the week we have right there, and that's all we got for that. Eli, before we get into like the thing that we did see, I just want to make a quick announcement that 2 shows on the CW got renewed.
Oh yeah.
Well, not renewed, but they got extended to a whole full season. One is The Batwoman.
That wasn't a full season?
It wasn't. They ordered some shows, but they ordered like a half season at first to see how it goes. But then they decided, okay, let's go ahead and do a full season. So basically, like when May, it'll do like a whole full 23, 24 slot, whatever, So the Batwoman got extended, and Nancy Drew got extended.
Okay, I started watching both of those shows
I
just to
did.
check them out.
I didn't see the episode of Batwoman tonight.
Me neither. I didn't watch a new one.
Yeah, I didn't watch the new one. The first 2 episodes of Batwoman, I was like, I don't know, this is not working for me. But the 3rd episode, I was like, okay, I
picked
kind of
up, yeah.
see some potential in here.
Yeah, when she got the hairdo.
That's what I think. That's what it was when she got the hair and the new costume and the boots.
Because that cowl, that cowl on her head, it was looking like way big. She looked like a fucking Funko Pop.
Yeah, because her neck was
with
too
that big
long
ass helmet.
and just like it's.
Yeah.
Just like it wasn't working. And then they had an Easter egg with Hush in there, so just like okay.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're setting up something bigger for that, so I'm at least interested to see where they go with this world. So it caught my attention, you know.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew, you probably watched it longer than I did. All I know, I think they want to just shock me at the beginning of it because Nancy Drew, who I grew up reading with her and Hardy Boys, opened the show with her banging a black dude in the back of a gas station, and I'm just like, okay. Hashtag not my Nancy.
Then they had to make the black guy like an ex-con and shit. And
see, I didn't even watch that far.
Oh yeah. I started watching it because they got Adam Beach on there. Native actor.
Okay.
Native actor on TV. That's big news for us. So.
Okay. On the CW at that. He's not gay, is he?
On the CW. No, he's the cop.
That mean he's not gay, is he?
Well, I mean, he could be. I mean, but he's he's not the gay cop yet. He could be.
He could be. We'll see.
But yeah. No, I'm probably not going to stay with it. I thought it was going to be like a mystery episode, like a new mystery every episode, but if they're going to stretch this shit out for a season, I don't care.
Oh, you thought it was going to be like Murder, She Wrote and shit.
Yeah, basically,
There's a theory about Murder, She Wrote
something.
that since every episode she went on and a dude was dead every she went, maybe she killed him. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thing. So Batwoman, I'm lukewarm about. Nancy Drew, hopped off that train. But still happy for both of them. Hey, why not? More shows for everybody. Now, Eli, can we jump into the review of the week?
Sure.
So we saw a movie, and I didn't go anywhere, and Eli didn't go anywhere. It's right there at your home, and we saw the movie Dolemite Is My Name. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this movie has been hyped to hell. They've been hyping the hell out this movie. I think it actually did have theatrically, but like a limited theatrical release, and then they decided to release it on Netflix. Just because the reviewers have been talking about this movie for like the last 2 weeks. And they've just been, hyped this movie up. They're like, oh, it's great. It's Eddie Murphy is back. This is his return. So now we got a chance to see it. And I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first to see what you think about the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was very interesting. I mean, I actually watched a bunch of Rudy Ray Moore movies. I know who he is. And it was interesting. I didn't know. I guess I only knew him as the Dolemite character. Mm-hmm. So to see his real life sort of portray out and his struggles and what he's trying to do, and I thought that was really cool. And I guess I have a new respect for him now. That when I find out what he was trying to do, and I thought he was really cool, like how down to earth he was, and especially at the end when he gives the cane to the little kid and shit. Mm-hmm. And all that. But yeah, I mean, I really like that, that he basically said, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want, how I want. And he had the drive and the determination to do everything himself, without, no one wanted to back him. No one was into his comedy. No one was, believed in what he was doing. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And then he just got a bunch of people to help him. And he sort of hustled his way to make his albums. The whole album thing, that's like punk rock. The whole DIY, do it yourself ethic, that's like from punk rock. They just, no one wanted to sign these bands, so they just did it themselves. They recorded their own albums, put them out, went on tour by themselves, and that's what he did. I thought that was cool. And then same thing when he got the movie made. He just sort of hustled his way to make a movie. And then when no one wanted to put it out, he bought out movie theaters and all that shit. So just watching him, sort of navigate the system, to make it I thought was really cool, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, basically what I'm thinking about the movie is, Eli, I love this movie. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, just like you, I grew up on Rudy Ray movies also. Like, it was one of those movies that when I went to my uncle's house, he had them on VCR, Devil's Son-in-Law. I'm not supposed to be watching it, but when they go off somewhere, I'm going to sneak in and watch the stuff. So it's not stuff I'm not supposed to be watching it. So I'm familiar with his material. Like, a lot of people watch this movie didn't know who Rudy Ray Moore is. They just know that, it just reminds me of Black Dynamite, But that's where Black Dynamite got this stuff from, amongst other movies also. Yeah. And I was curious to see what Eddie Murphy was going to do with this movie, because Eddie Murphy in the trailer didn't sell me on being Rudy Ray Moore. And when I watched the movie, his portrayal, sometimes he reminded me too much of Sherman Klump, But in other times, I did feel like he lost himself or, became Rudy Ray Moore. I feel like I was watching Rudy Ray Moore. A couple times he did nail it,
Yeah.
So, especially with the way he was acting it. So, overall, this role that he played, I think it's one of his best roles he's ever done. People saying
there was that, there was like a human side to Rudy Ray Moore, because like I said, what I know of Rudy Ray Moore is from the movies of him just yelling. He like yells everything. Mm-hmm. He was so loud, like everything. He didn't talk. He was just always yelling.
Right.
Rat soup eating motherfucker. He was just loud. So to see him like sort of dial it back and just see the real side of him. Was
right.
Like,
but he was still able to do the loud part of it too. So he had to play both sides.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing about it. So he made Rudy Ray Moore a human. I do like that he showed how much drive, tenacity he had, because looking back at it, we took that stuff for granted. I mean, he put the movie back out in the 70s.
Yeah.
Even blaxploitation studios wouldn't take his movie.
Yeah, and they talk about that. He felt he was too fat. He didn't have the body for an action hero.
Yeah, because back then you had like Billy D. Williams, Black Caesar, Jim Brown. That was all football players. They were sex symbols. Rudy Ray Moore wasn't that, so he doing sex scenes acting like the biggest pimp in the world.
Yeah.
But
and he was worried about shooting those sex scenes. He was all self-conscious.
He was self-conscious. Like, you didn't think about it at the time. You're like, okay, you thinking he's the most confident guy in the world. And because he made people believe he was a sex symbol, Yeah. I'm watching the movies back then. I'm looking at the dude like, okay, this dude titties are bigger than the chicks he's with in the room, But he made you believe he was a sex symbol.
Yeah.
Because of his confidence. But it made sense that he would have, be self-conscious in a situation like that. And just the fact that a lot of those scenes, like they reenacted the scenes shot for shot. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah.
Stuff they were doing. Everybody in the movie played an excellent part of it. Like everybody, Michael Keegan, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
But the one person, everybody keep talking about this, Eddie Murphy comeback. It's not just an Eddie Murphy comeback. It's a Wesley Snipes comeback also.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because he damn near stole this whole movie.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he put on his performance.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. He was playing against type. Well, I don't know. Like he kind of played an arrogant actor, but not that. Like.
Yeah, like he was like, and it's just the thing, like the little things he was doing, like he was always drunk on set and all the time, just the way he was acting, like he kind of cared but didn't care what the fuck was going on, Yeah. Oh, and he had the coke nail. They never went into detail about it. They didn't have any drugs in the movie or detail about it, but just that little thing right there. And the funny thing about it, Eli, you know how I learned about the coke nail?
No.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Princess Leia. Because she talked about it in one of her interviews or something like that. I like, oh, that is fucked up. So that's what they did back. So she said like in one of the movies you can see her coke nail in one of the Star Wars movies or something. Like she didn't cut it or something.
I worked with this one Mexican guy. He was like from Mexico and barely spoke English. This is like back in high school. So it was like decades ago. But I remember when I first shook his hand, he had this long ass pinky nail.
Yeah.
And like creeped me out and shit. And I ended up asking him, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, la coca. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it was creepy as hell. He had like it was like a super villain. He had this long fingernail on one hand.
Man, is there anything on this show we won't talk about? Don't worry, people. We will eventually get to Red Hood and the Outlaws eventually.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, like I said, the you can tell that there was a lot of heart in this movie. Like the movie was funny as hell because a lot of things Eddie Murphy was like quoting Rudy Ray Moore. Like he was making his quotes and making them laugh. And sometimes you don't know if he was quoting Rudy Ray Moore was he putting his own spin on it, going off the top, saying the stuff he wanted to? Whatever he was doing, it was funny as hell, regardless of what he was doing. It was just funny that there was so many like brief cameos that just popping up. Like T.I. showed up in the role, and Snoop Dogg was there. Snoop Dogg actually kind of made sense because he was actually part of the '90s revival that kind of brought Rudy Ray Moore back into the spotlight. So I understand why he was there. But the movie, as funny as the movie was, Eli, it was also like inspirational.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, whatever you want to think of Rudy Ray Moore, at the end of the day, Rudy Ray Moore was a content creator. Mm-hmm. And he did it in a world where there was no social media where it was easy to get the stuff out there. No, he had to bust his ass to get the stuff out there. So he had it 20 times harder plus that than what anybody's doing right now, Like, think if we had this podcast and we didn't have social media.
Yeah,
we had
like
to individually go to people to get the people to hear this stuff.
Yeah, he went out. He took it on tour, the Chitlin circuit.
Right.
he took his act out on the road.
When there were gatekeepers.
Yeah, and it was just cool. Like when I think one of the studios or somebody said, "Yeah, it's one thing to make a movie for the 5 blocks, neighborhood that you're in." But nobody outside those 5 blocks give a shit. But he's like, yeah, but there's those 5 blocks are in every city.
Right.
And I was like, yeah.
Because he said it was supply and demand. He saw there's a demand for this thing that he has that he can't get out there because people keep telling him no. When eventually he got his name out there. So that's why I say it's inspirational because, okay, if they don't give you a door, make your own door. Make your own way. Don't sit there and wait for somebody to sign you or give you a deal. Make your own lane. You can do that. That's inspirational for any content creator or any artist out there.
Yeah. DIY or die,
Yeah. Because you sit there and wait for somebody, you'll be waiting forever.
Yeah.
And that's why, and another thing, you got to believe in yourself because it's like that. He actually gambled on himself. He was like, if this fails, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be in debt to my eyeballs for these guys for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But he bet on himself. And that's why I appreciate that. So as funny as the movie was, it had heart. Also, it had a message behind it. That's why I say this is one of Eddie Murphy's best roles because he wasn't just everybody loves Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
But he was just playing one note. He was just doing the same shtick over and over and over again. There was no, layers to that character. Where there are layers to the character. Even when he was playing it seriously, he was still being funny with it. And we got to think about this. This is the first time Eddie Murphy did some R-rated shit since the 80s.
Yeah, no shit. He's doing like fucking Dr. Doolittle and shit.
Right. Nutty Professor and shit like that.
Pluto Nash and shit.
Like, it's the closest Eddie Murphy we've gotten to Raw.
Norbert and shit.
Right. So it was like a return for Eddie Murphy. And the reason he's the perfect guy to do this because you can tell that, like the energy of Rudy Ray Moore or the essence of whatever that he had, the DNA he had, it's in Eddie Murphy. In his comedic style, it's there. Not just him. Even Mike Epps was barely in the movie, but you could tell he was inspired by Rudy Ray Moore. Hell, Snoop Dogg was inspired by Rudy Ray Moore.
Yeah, he was in the movie. Yeah,
he was in the movie because that's the thing. Like you talking about when he gave the cane to the boy at the end and had the freestyle battle. I think that was like symbolism. Well, not even symbolism, but they were trying to make a point that Rudy Ray Moore may have accidentally invented rap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's like the first time I ever heard his name reference was like an NWA song.
Right. And that's kind of why he made a research back in the 90s. Yeah. Yeah,
like Eazy-E said something about I'm the motherfucking devil's son-in-law.
Right.
And I was like, oh, what the hell's that? And then when later on I, saw the videotape, Petey Wheatstraw, on the on the shelf. But that's where it came from. But yeah, I mean, the fact that hip hop took inspiration and just like, because I mean, when they talk about the signifying monkey and his poems and stuff, and just that the essence of that act is the monkey's talking shit,
right?
And just using shit talking to get by, to sort of stick it to the man, so to speak.
Right, but which doing it in a rhyming pattern,
Yeah, and which is what hip hop is. It's like taking the language of the marginalized culture and sort of flipping the script, and
but just doing it to a beat. That's all.
Yeah.
And so, like, he started that, he planted that seed, and other people just kind of took it and just ran with it. But at the same time, like, his DNA is in all of these rappers. They're doing the same thing. I'm talking shit. I'm the biggest, baddest motherfucker. I stick my finger in the ground, turn the whole world around, you know, whatever the fuck, you know. But he's the one that started that stuff, or at least the one that popularized that stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
bragging, and, you know.
yeah, I mean, I'm a pimp, you know.
Yeah.
I know karate, I could kick your ass, you know, but you really don't know any of that stuff. So, yeah, that's why this movie just had, I mean, at the end of the day, what this movie did was celebrate the life of the man, because he was an underground comedian. Like, we know who he is, but he's not known to the mainstream. He's not known, and he has such a big influence. That's the funny thing about it, because no matter where you go, you can see his influence. You can see his influence in comedians. You can see his influence in music. You can see his influence in movies, you know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when he did this underground stuff right there, like, okay, so if you do it the right way, you can make a movie cater to a certain audience. You know.
What's that movie, The Great White Hype? When,
I remember.
When Damon Wayans, like, ain't coming out to the ring because he's watching Dolemite.
I forgot about that.
Like, Dolomite's my inspiration. It's like, they're waiting. She's got to go while he's got the fight to... Wait, after the love scene.
So, and that's what Netflix dropped the ball on this, because they could have put all those Rudy Ray Moore movies on Netflix, like, you know, Human Tornado, Dolemite, Devil's Son-in-Law.
Dolomite was on Amazon like couple months ago. Remember? I say
you did say that it was on there.
Yeah, and I ended up watching it. I just for the fuck of it, I watched Dolomite.
You have no business having insecure rat soup eating motherfucker.
Yeah,
Love that shit.
and Shaolin Dolomite.
That's the new. That was the new shit, like in 2000 or something.
Yeah, where it's just basically, it's bad. It's really, he just basically took a kung fu movie and overdubbed his voices and shit, and like shot some like intercut with scenes of him walking around and shit. And yeah, it's bad, but hey.
Oh man, but like I said, he had that floor. So that's the thing. So if you haven't seen the movie, both of us recommend it. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. I mean, some parts of it was kind of formulated. It felt like the same old underdog story you've seen before, but just the way everybody played it, that's what made it so awesome.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. 4.5. 5. Fuck it, I'll give it a 5. I enjoyed it. Like you said,
me, I wasn't expecting that.
I had no problem with it. You know, I mean, yeah, you can say it was predictable, but I had a good time watching it. You know, I was into the story. I was surprisingly, like, I thought it was just going to be like Eddie Murphy trying to be funny again, but it, like you said, it had a lot of heart. There was a lot of drama, like human drama going on, that made it deeper than I thought it was going to be. So just honestly,
honestly, I think he should be up for an Oscar for this role.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will, but
it's one of the better movies I've seen this year. I mean, I was that surprised that I thought that it was that good, you know?
And so I don't know the rules behind Netflix, stuff like that, because, you know, they're on a war. They hate Netflix just as much as they hate Marvel movies. So
yeah,
I don't know. We don't know how that's going to go.
Well, they shouldn't, because they can't get the fuckers in the movie, man. They
got to do something. That's the underdog. Like, I mean, what if this movie should have been in the movies?
It should have been.
I would have went and saw this. I probably went and saw it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it again, you know.
But here's the thing. Would they have made more money? Are they making more money on Netflix or in the theaters? That's what we don't know. We don't know the numbers.
Yeah, because then it goes to the theaters. You got to talk about marketing and distribution and blah blah blah.
Right, you're blowing budget on that. You know, because what I'm hearing, like Netflix paying these, they're basically paying the movie budgets. You know, it's not like they're making it for cheap. You know, this guy that directed this, he directed Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not getting cheap actors. They're paying the same rate. So it's probably more profitable for them on Netflix.
At this day and age, because like we said, no one goes to see the movies anymore unless it's Disney or Marvel,
right?
Or Star Wars. Yeah,
that's the thing. Maybe they should take this movie, Dolemite Is My Name, and spin it to a superhero movie. I don't know, Black Lightning or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there. What else we got today? What else we got? I think we got is matter of fact, you want to talk about Segway Eli? Talk about Black Lightning.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's not talk about Black Lightning. Let's talk about the creator of Black Lightning.
White guy.
A white guy, yes. And matter of fact, I'm going to pull this information up because I want to read the exact quote. I don't want to misquote him for this. This is Tony Isabella, the creator of Black Lightning. He was being an asshole. He wouldn't let Black Lightning be on Super Friends, which is why they had to turn around and make Black Vulcan. So that's where Black Vulcan comes from. But let me read that quote. Where is that quote? Oh, I should have had his numbers up. We are so unprofessional. Fuck it. Here we go. Okay.
Didn't you just message? Oh, you got it?
I did. I went to the messenger and grabbed it. So, okay, here we go. Tony Isabella. This is what he said. Here's the tip. Don't ask me to join groups or visit pages that have, quote, Batman in their titles. He was once my favorite comic hero. Now I consider him one of the most toxic and the ruination of DC Comics. DC hurts their other characters by making Batman the center of their universe. Okay. So I've always called Batman toxic, but the way Tony Isabella is saying it, he's saying he's toxic in a different way. So not just, he fucks up Gotham City, he's fucking up his own comics brand, his industry. So that's interesting. Some people have different sides about it. Some people say he's being salty. Some, Eli, I kind of think that myself because we've talked about this before. Actually, I don't think we've talked about this before. We haven't talked about it on the podcast. But we talked about it, in groups before that Batman is kind of overexposed.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah.
It's just too much fucking bat media just out there, just everything. How many books do we think that Batman is in every month? Like not just his book, but just feature it over 10. Definitely over 10.
Yeah, a lot. I only read the main title, and I dropped the main title for a while.
Yeah.
But
Curse of the White Knight and all that shit. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, and we were doing Last Night on Earth, which kind of got okay, and I don't know ain't there one issue of that left? But the All-Star Batman, like this.
And it's not just that. I mean, you got to look at the Batman spin-offs also,
Batman
like Joker
Beyond,
and Harley Quinn and all this stuff. Yeah. I mean, because Black Label just turned into more Batman books. That's all it is.
Basically, yeah. Like I like Batman. I just don't like Batman and 100 titles every month.
Right, that's the thing. Like he's everywhere. Like he didn't have to be in every single book.
Yeah,
like, that's why he's doing all this and guest starring in other books. Like fuck, man, go somewhere.
Yeah, I don't like Batman on the Justice League because he's an asshole.
Right, he's always trying to kill them for some reason.
He's a fucking prick. When you put him on a team, he's an asshole.
Right. Just keep him in Gotham City. Like he can show up in Justice League every now and then, but he didn't have to be like one of the main guys that, bossing gods and stuff like that around,
Yeah, he's the one who kicks Mira's ass. She kicks everybody's ass, but Batman.
Right. Because he's Batman.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing about that. So I think he does that point there because they spend so much time, and it's not just in the comics. Like it's everything. It's their medium. Like for instance, these movies they keep on these DC animated movies. Mm-hmm. They keep cramming Batman in every single one of them. Like the Justice League Dark one. Why the fuck is Batman in that movie? He doesn't even know magic. So he's just hanging around them. And you watch the movie, he doesn't even do anything. He's just there, standing there. He might throw a batarang at the devil or some shit like that, but that's it. So he's just there just to be on the poster, just to sell movie tickets, stuff like that. So they keep throwing him in these cartoons. They keep making Batman cartoons over and over again. At some point, you just like take a break. But that's why, honestly, Eli, that's why I kind of like the CW because there's no Batman. Yeah. So they are forced to, to develop other characters other than Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have Batwoman.
You got Batwoman.
But you know what though? Batwoman is actually technically really a completely different character. She just has Bat in the name. Yeah. They could have called her something else and it would have been fine, but they know if they called it something else, they couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
G.I. Jane didn't have the same ring as Batwoman. Batwoman or whatever the fuck they gonna call her. Oh shit. So that's my whole thing. So I think he does have a point. I'm not saying like just stop doing Batman, but don't do it at the cost of, because like I said, they just had a Wonder Woman cartoon come out. And I was like, the last Wonder Woman cartoon that came out was in 2009. 10 years ago. So why the fuck we haven't got a whole bunch of them? Why aren't there other characters? Fuck, give me a Cyborg cartoon. You already fucked me over with a movie. Make one and don't throw Batman in it. They have other characters. They can do this stuff, but they just scared to do it because they know Batman. They keep thinking Batman. This is why Marvel is kicking their ass right now. That's the main reason. Because Marvel doesn't rest on one character. You know.
Yeah.
Now they used to. Now back in the 80s, Spider-Man was actually way worse than what Batman is right now. They used to throw Spider-Man in.
Spider-Man's still in like 1,000, but him and Wolverine.
Him and Wolverine, but not like that. No, it was way worse back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. They used to have Spider-Man on the poster of a book, and he literally, and you read the book, he was in one panel. All he did is swing by. They're like, "Hey, there's Spider-Man," and that's it. That's all you saw. But they don't care as long as you bought the book.
He was just like the stamp of Marvel.
Yeah,
He just had a Spider-Man stamp on every book.
Right. So we've seen this before. I mean, sometimes you might say that Batman is just kind of like a fad for the moment, you know, because we've seen it before. Because, like I said, Spider-Man done it. Wolverine, at the height of his popularity, was worse than what Batman is right now.
Yeah.
Wolverine was like on 5 teams and a solo book all at the same time. Like, how was he on the X-Men and the Avengers and his own solo Avengers and solo Avengers all at the same time? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But fuck it, just do it. No. And yeah, Spider-Man is pretty bad because he got like 5 books out right now. You know, counting JJ Jr., whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, they're just gonna ride the course. But the thing is, I think when he's talking about like, why are you centering your universe around Batman? Why the fuck you not centering your universe around, you know, Superman?
Yeah, isn't that what they're doing right now? They're fucking resetting everything.
I mean, that's what they think that they're gonna do. But that's my whole thing about this, because Batman is always gonna be Batman. But if you're trying to establish the DC universe, that has to revolve around Superman, I think, because Batman doesn't really fit in that world, you know, with Green Lantern and Flash and whatever the fuck. But Superman does, because Superman is a more fantastical character. So if he teams up with all Aquaman, it's like Batman and Aquaman doesn't make sense, you know. But Superman and Aquaman, you know, just teaming up for an adventure like that, it makes sense. That's why I think Zack Snyder fucked up, because you can tell that Batman was his favorite character. You know, Ben Affleck was his Nick Fury, so he was gonna get Batman and, you know, do all stuff like that, and it don't really work. I mean, get Superman to do this shit, because Superman is the fantastical character. He's supposed to be like the alpha and omega of superhero stuff like that. So even the movies failed to revolve the movies around Superman. They decided to do it around Batman. Now the comics are doing this shit, and it doesn't make any sense to have like these world-ending crisis events with the dude with no powers. You know, it should make more sense with Superman.
That's what like turned me off with Snyder after a while, because that's what he was doing. Is
Scott Snyder, right?
Scott Snyder, yeah,
the one that we liked. Well, we used to like.
Yeah, it was just always blowing up the universe and then resetting it, you know, over like
And now the most evil villain in the universe right now is an evil Batman.
Is a evil Batman, yeah.
Like, come on, DC.
Yeah, who barely does anything. Like,
right.
He's
just always in the shadows, just playing.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. So yeah, I think Tony Isabella has a point, but people are pissed. You know, they just want more Batman.
Oh, comic fans, Jesus Christ.
They get pissed about everything.
They get pissed off over it.
Yeah. Another person said he called Batman toxic. Like, it's 2019. What's not toxic? Moving past, they can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay, so next part, we're going to talk about the video games. We're going to talk about it briefly. So the big news, well, not big news, but the big release of the year happened. Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Call of Duty's out. Apparently, it is cross-platform, so no matter what platform you buy the game on, you can play with your friends on other systems. Eli, I'm going to tell you a little dirty secret I used to have.
Oh, yeah?
When the old it's not really that dirty, but the old Call of Duties, like back in 2008, 2009, something like that, I used to buy them for every system. I used to buy an Xbox version and a PlayStation version.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can play with my friends over here and my friends over here. You know, where I can go back and forth with them. It was exhausting. You know, $120 every year for one game. That only played for like a month.
You have to beat both games, and
I gotta get both games, and I got the DLC, and I gotta get all this other shit with it. I'm like, oh, this shit is tiring. I keep forgetting which friend is on what system, but now I don't have to worry about those things. Now I just get one system. It's because I'm on PC. I don't even have a console.
Yeah.
So I'm eventually gonna get it because every day at work, my friends keep telling me to say, "Hey, you got Call of Duty yet? You got Call of Duty yet? You got Call of Duty yet?" Like, no, shit. I'm at work. I can't even play it.
I haven't played a Call of Duty game in years. I don't know.
I haven't either. I haven't played. Last one I played was in 2009.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like it was the Black Ops or something like that.
Yeah,
But I was only playing them for the zombies and shit.
I hate the fucking zombies, man. I don't. I don't understand why people love that shit. I thought this shit was
my kid, holy shit, he does shit that I didn't even know was possible.
Oh, I know people will buy those games just for the zombie shit.
Yeah, man. One day we had to get together, like 4 of us, bring all these Xbox over to my house so my kid could unlock some.
Y'all had a LAN party?
Yeah, we had to fucking unlock because it took 4 people to do this shit, to unlock this something in the Shangri-La map or something, where we all had to stand on stones at the same time, and it was like a pain in the ass. It's because but hey, he's my kid. You don't have kids yet. You don't understand.
Yeah. So I don't get it. But like I said,
the shit you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, but like I said, I have plenty of friends that love the zombie mode. They will buy it just for the zombie mode. I'm like, this shit is boring. Which is one reason why I got away from that shit. I'm like, I don't want to shoot zombies because that shit. Why the fuck you want to shoot zombies? They slow as fuck and they don't even have guns.
No, these motherfuckers run when they keep
I guess
coming.
they cannot run a bullet. Okay,
And then
you can be Usain Bolt. You can't run a bullet.
Guns and shit, man. You start getting the perks, and it's fucking great. But zombie dogs too.
I guess I don't know. It never really caught my attention.
Jug and.
But they making this one seem like all my friends make it seem like this the greatest thing since sliced bread. So eventually I'm gonna have to break down and have to get it.
My kid was so into zombies, I had to go get a bunch of Jones Cola, and get so he printed out like the different perk sodas that were on the map, and he stuck them on. He actually had a set of colas for all. He was deep into that shit, and he found it frustrating because this was like, about maybe 8-9 years ago, and nobody wanted to play with him because they found out that he was like a 10-year-old kid.
Oh wow!
I don't want him on my team, but this kid, he was getting to like level 50.
Well, here's the thing. That's the thing. When I played SOCOM, the best player I've ever played with was like fucking 11 years old. Because the thing was, he didn't have a mic at first, so I just saw him play like on an online replay, and his name was Iceman.
Okay.
And he was like killing like 20 people at a time, man. It was like a fucking action movie. So I'm thinking in my mind, his voice is like like Duke from G.I. Joe, or like Sergeant Slaughter. Like, let's get these hostages out of here, just chewing like tobacco and shit like that. So when I finally hear his voice, when I play, I'll tell my friend, like, that's Iceman. That's Iceman. He's the coldest motherfucker that ever played this game. Like, hey guys, how are you guys doing? My mom says I have to do my homework at 6, so I'm gonna play this game and I'm leaving. He's got like 30 people at a time and shit like that. It's like, this is fucking me up, man. It's kind of like you watching Commando. He voiced by, I don't know, like Frankie Muniz or some shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I might get it at some point. I heard the single player campaign is good. That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. Okay, if you get it, I get it. I don't know what system you can get on. It don't matter. We can party up.
Yeah. I don't know when I probably ain't gonna get it for a while.
Hey, if we get it, well, whenever you get it. If you get it, we're gonna stream it. Everybody listen, pay attention, and watch it.
Watch me suck at it.
Watch me suck at it. But yeah, it'll be entertaining watching us get the shit shot out of us. That means we move on to the next part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. Red Hood and Outlaws.
The moment y'all been waiting for.
The moment you've been waiting for. This is where everybody cuts the shit off. So this is the Comic Book Bullies podcast. We actually talk about comic books, and we're going to jump into the comic books of the comic books. So, Eli, I guess I can go first with this X minute.
Oh, go ahead right ahead.
Yeah, go on. We stole your shit. Don't worry about it. Bill us. Yeah, so the first book we're going to go with is Marauders. It's the first of the Dawn of X or 10, whatever the fuck Jonathan Hickman want to call this shit. This is his spin-off books now, where it's a pirate X-Men book or whatever. So basically how the book starts off is that it starts off with Storm and Nightcrawler recruiting the X-Men in New York, telling them, hey, you can come to Krakoa. We got an honor set up for you. So you leave New York. We're not coming back. Come to Krakoa with us. And they're like, cool. Okay, leave. And everybody tries to go through the door. But the thing is, Kitty Pryde can't walk through the door. Like, she walks through the door and actually walks right into the door and breaks her nose. She's like, why can't I walk through Krakoa? Nobody knows the answer to that. So he has to take a boat.
Is she not a mutant or something? Or
We don't know.
Kitty Pryde?
It's Kitty Pryde, right? But we don't know what's going on. So, so Kitty Pryde actually has to take a boat and sail all the way to Krakoa.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So she's get there, and she thinking maybe when I get there, I can walk through the door and come through. So she try to walk through the door, then still can't walk in. So she still can't get into Krakoa no matter what. And then she sees Iceman. Iceman walks through the door. He's like, "Hey, Kitty, what you doing?" He like, I've been talking to Professor X, and he's saying nobody can figure out what's going on, but he said he's got his best men on it. And Iceman says, "Well, I'd like to meet these best men." And he looks right at the camera. Wink. But you
Come
get
and
it.
knock on our door.
Right. So Wolverine walks through the portal also, and he said, "Kitty, did you get it? Did you get it?" She's like, "Yeah, I got it." Okay, cool. So he swims all the way to the boat, grabs the and when he comes back to shore, he's got some Canadian whiskey and a kegger with him. And he's like, "Thanks, Kitty." And then he goes to the portal and says, so obviously he made a shopping list for Kitty to bring, like some ribs, some beer, some whiskey, some other shit like that he can't get.
Paper clips and butter.
Since you got to come from America anyway to here, get this shit for me because we can't get this shit in Krakoa,
Pick me up a Whopper.
Right. He actually did say pick me up some ribs from Memphis. like they'll Uber them to you, But while she's doing that, Iceman's just like, hold up, something's going on. Kitty, I'll be right with you. I gotta see what's going on with this portal, why people ain't walking through this. So when he walks to the portal, Kitty's just by herself. When she's by herself, she gets like a telepathic, FaceTime call with Emma Frost. Emma Frost is basically telling like, I made a deal with Professor X and Magneto. We sold these drugs to all the countries, and we having a hard time. And some of the countries are cool with us, some of them are not. Some of us are blocking us from getting our drugs there, and some of us are blocking the mutants to come from their country to Krakoa. So what I'd like you to do, I made this big ship where you can take the drugs that they don't want them to get there to the place, and you can bring the mutants back to the Krakoa Island. If you do that, Kitty, I'll owe you a big favor, and that's it. And Kitty's just like the whole time, like, let me guess, Storm must have turned you down. Oh, she wouldn't let me finish, But I'm asking you now. So if you do it, you get all the perks of it, and you get the benefits. You'll be the face of, White Queens International, some Hellfire Internationals and shit like that. And Kitty's like, nah, I don't want to do it. While she's doing that, we find out what Iceman is doing. Iceman walked through a portal into Russia, and apparently they have this this dude there with superpower was named Phobos. He didn't have superpowers. He's got a suit. What his suit does, it takes out mutant powers. So Iceman thinks he's about to beat this guy, but he does his thing. Iceman got no powers. So he walks back through Krakoa portal, tells Kitty, I need you to come with me. They got this dude in Russia that's holding mutants hostage and won't let them walk through Krakoa thing, but I can't do anything because he knocks out my powers. But at this time, Kitty's like drunk on Canadian whiskey because I think like Wolverine left a 6-pack behind. But anyway, she kind of sobers up. She said, "Hey, Storm, you're not doing anything. You want to come with us to Russia?" She's like, "I ain't doing shit." Okay, so they go sailing. While they're sailing, Pyro was on the boat also. Pyro has been dead for like years, but mutants they can clone them and regrow them and resurrect them, whatever the fuck. So Pyro's there too. So they go to Russia, and Kitty got a plan. Like, okay, that dude that knock out the mutant powers, he can't take out everybody because there's too many of us. So Storm and Iceman rush that guy named Phobos. He immediately take out their powers. But Kitty, phases through the ground and like beats the shit out of him and knocks him out. While she's doing that, all the Russian soldiers start rushing Kitty. And Kitty's like, since Iceman and Storm got no power, she's like, y'all get out of here. I got these guys. And Kitty just fucks these guys up. And when I mean fuck these guys up, she like really fuck these guys up. Like she takes the gun out of one of these guys' hand. Like, are these guns, they're they don't have bullets in them for civilians, right? She's like, well, I don't know. Bam, shoots him in the leg. She's like, oh, sorry for you. And then the other guy, she actually take the gun and put it in their thighs and rematerialize it. And you can see like blood shooting out their thighs and shit like that. Like, oh, fuck, that's fucked up, So, yeah, so Kitty gets all the people through the portal, stuff like that. And she was like, I can't go through the portal with y'all, so I'm going to just, sail back to, Krakoa or wherever, Storm and Iceman like, nah, Kitty, you can't go by yourself. We got to come with you. So they go sailing. Emma FaceTimes them again, telepathically. She's like, okay, Kitty, you going to take my offer? They're like, yeah, I'll take your offer, Emma. We'll go ahead and do it and we'll sail. So they ask Kitty where we're going to go. She's like, I don't know. We're just gonna sell. If mutants need help that can't get to record, we're gonna help them out. Oh, and another thing, I want y'all to stop calling me Kitty, call me Kate. And the book ends. That's it. So yeah, it's a pirate book. Oh yeah. There's another plot line with Bishop doing something. It'll come up later on. But yeah, another X-Men book. I'm kind of getting X burnt out, but I'm sort of entertaining. It was cool. Give 3.5. It's cool. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. The only Marvel book I read was The Immortal Hulk.
I hear they've been hyping the hell out of this book. I mean, this
Okay.
this particular issue.
Whoa. Immortal Hulk 25. So this shit's bugged out. Okay, so basically eons into the future, some sort of alien single cell organism or something is kind of searching through space for like signs of life, and they can't find any. The universe seems to be dead, but they end up finding another like single cell organism alien thing, and they like fall in love.
Okay.
And the one alien has like these black eggs or some eggs of knowledge or something. And there's also these black eggs, which are full of like evil and darkness. And basically they're full of information or something. I have a hard time understanding this book. So I don't know. So the one alien's like, oh, I've never, what's up with all this darkness and evil and shit. And he's like, well, there's, well, it's like knowledge, and this is where like worlds have been destroyed. He's like, oh, I've never seen a world that's ever been destroyed. So the alien goes off to find a world and like travels the universe for what seems like eons. I don't know, because most of the universe is destroyed. But then he finally finds a world, and it's all full of life and shit. But then the Hulk comes, and the Hulk is like fucking gigantic, like Galactus size.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's not the devourer, he's the breaker of worlds.
Oh shit.
And the Hulk just comes and like just punches the world and destroys it.
What the fuck? So he...
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that alien dies, he sort of releases the egg, and it like goes into the Hulk's consciousness or something to see if the Hulk has a soul or something. But he finds out that he really doesn't have a soul, like, it's just sort of like this empty void full of rage. And he finds it's basically the one below all.
The one below all?
The one below all. So this goes back to the whole, when the Hulk went to hell earlier in the arc, when Banner went to hell and all that shit, and he found the one below all. Basically, the source of all the Hulk's rage is controlled by the Hulk, the one below all. Devil Hulk and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the one below all has been using like the Hulk as a vessel to cause havoc and devastation and hate throughout the universe. So the book ends with, I don't know when this takes place. I don't know if it's a flashback or what, but basically there's this particular scene where the leader is finding like one of the alien eggs of not the one with all the knowledge in it. So he's finding this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the leader knows what the Hulk has become. I guess that's what that means. Like, again, this book is like way out there. It's way out there. Very weird. So, yeah, I don't know if I understood everything, but I think that's the point. I think Al Ewing is keeping it vague, sort of keeping the reader off kilter to sort of add the suspense. You know what I mean?
You making it sound like his Ultimates run, because that shit was out there too, and I knew half of what the fuck was going on in that book too, and he wrote that. So
yeah, I mean, I think I like the concept more than I like the actual story. You know what I mean? Like the idea of like the Hulk is not kept contained. If you leave the Hulk unchecked, he's just going to become this destroyer of the universe, the Cosmic Hulk or whatever. This like unlimited, rage, and that's a terrifying idea.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, this book is weird and out there. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. you know.
Okay. Pretty strong, even though I really don't know what the hell you were talking about in the book. But okay.
It was weird. Like it was an interesting read. It was long. This was fucking $6 too, which kind of like what the hell. So this better do something. But yeah, watching like the whole concept of Cosmic Hulk, the devourer of world, this gigantic Hulk that's been destroying the universe, because that's what he's doing. That's why there's no life left in the universe. Like if you leave the Hulk unchecked, he's just going to destroy the universe. So that whole idea is just like, holy shit. And like I said, I like the idea more than how the story played out. You know what I mean? So, and this whole thing with the leader, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but the leader knows something and is going to do something. So,
okay.
So yeah, there you go.
All right. Next what I'm going to do is Batman, Superman #3.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see how this book starts off. Okay. So the way the book left off last time, Superman went undercover as the Superman Who Laughs to make the Batman Who Laughs think they teamed up together, because he was always trying to, turn them anyway. So he frees the Batman Who Laughs. Batman Who Laughs, and he asks Superman. Superman asks him like, "So what's the next move? What are we planning on doing? Like, who else do you have infected?" Because all they know is that he's infected 6 people. They call them the Secret Six. They found that they know 2, but they don't know the other 4. So they trying to get the information right now. So the Batman Who Laughs basically tell him, "Don't worry, we'll wait." Because what I'm going to tell you, my plan is that I'm going to kill everybody on this planet. Just like your planet died, I'm going to kill everybody here too. Matter of fact, do you know that your mom actually wished she was in the rocket instead of you? Like when you died, like she cried the whole time. So the same thing that happened with her, I'm going to do with you also. And Superman gets pissed, look like he's about to break his neck. Batman pops out of nowhere, hits him with the Joker, antidote. But the reason he did that because he was like, "Why'd you do that, Batman?" He was like, Batman's like, he knows. He knows you're undercover. He already figured you out. He made you. So, and then matter of fact, the Batman Who Laughs has already figured out the whole time that he didn't get free. He's still in the prison of the Fortress of Solitude. So not the Hall of Justice. So he's been down there the whole time.
The holodeck.
Wherever the fuck he is. Yeah, he's some hologram. He knew he was there because he could like smell the hologram or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. He knew about it.
Yeah, but he gave him a clue. He was just like, the next person that I infected, it's not like they write your name in the sky or anything like that. Batman like, got it. I know who it is. And then he locks Superman in the Hall of Justice bottom also because he's still infected with the Joker venom. He says it's gonna take a few hours to get out of the system, but he can't risk Superman flipping out, and attacking just anybody. So he left him in there so he can follow up on the clue. And when he follows up the clue, he goes back to Gotham City. He sees Commissioner Gordon. He jumps on top of Commissioner Gordon's, like he's driving some kind of like truck or battle cop van or something like that. And he's just like, "Gordon, I know you set us up. The Batman Who Laughed didn't kidnap a kid. You just told us that shit to lead us into a trap. So I know he has something on you. Tell me what it is and I'll help you out." And Gordon like, "Help me out?" And then he takes his glasses off, and you can see he's been infected with the Joker venom also. So he's technically the Commissioner Gordon Who Laughs, or whatever the fuck, He tell me like, "You can help me, you can't help me. Ever since I met you, Gotham has been going to shit. All I do is bury cops because of you. How many more robbers are gonna die because of you?" He's saying, talking all this shit. So he grabs Gordon out of the thing, tries to talk Gordon down, like, "Gordon, whatever it is, we can get you. You fight this, Gordon. You get out of it." And Gordon's just like, "Oh no, Batman, you don't understand. I'm not alone." And then he hits his watch, and the bat suit that Gordon wore 2-3 years ago, whatever the fuck it was, the RoboCop Bat Bunny ear suit,
the Endgame suit or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that was, that pops out, and Batman's like, "What the fuck?" And then Gordon, because Gordon can remote control him, so Gordon makes the robot fight Batman. But then right before like the robot can kill Batman, Superman pops out of nowhere, blocks the bullets or the batarangs, whatever like that. Superman fights bunny ear RoboCop bat suit. Batman fights Gordon, beats the shit out of Gordon. Superman destroys the bat suit, but they realize they really didn't win because he had to beat the shit out of Gordon, But Batman realized that everything he thinks about, the Batman Who Laughs already figured out. So the best way to do it is to play it by Superman. Basically let Superman take lead and figure out what the fuck's going on. So they go to the Fortress of Solitude. They see Keelix. For those that don't know, Keelix is like Superman's robot butler that's in charge of the Fortress of Solitude when he's not there. Uh, but the thing is, the Batman Who Laughs was already one step ahead of them because he infected the bat suit. And the bat suit has been infected by, I guess, the fourth person that's been infected, and it's the Blue Beetle. I guess everybody thought the Blue Beetle was dead or something, I guess. I don't know. He pulls up. He's fucking pissed for some reason. He's tired of everybody treating him like a sidekick, so he, like, infects everything, you know. While they doing that, the Batman Who Laughs is still in the Hall of Justice down there, but he knows that the Legion of Doom signal is, like, all over the sky or something. And he like eventually Luthor and I are gonna come to Oz, but doesn't matter because Batman always wins. And the book ends. You know.
Mhm.
I think they were juggling too much stuff in this book. There's like way too many plots in this book going on. Like Blue Beetle? Like, why? I don't know. But
I thought that was pretty cool, but
it just seemed like it came out of nowhere. I think they should say that for another book because you were like, okay. Because honestly, I wanted to see the best part of the book was Batman fighting Gordon Batman. And then Gordon putting on that weird mask, like what? It's like I wanted to. They could have let that shit ride out a little bit more. I want to see more of that. You know.
Yeah.
But
I get. Yeah.
Still pretty cool.
I just haven't. Yeah, I haven't gotten into this whole Year of the Villain or whatever.
They keep shoving it down our throats, but nobody
with Lex
cares.
Luthor and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep telling us, "Oh, you're the villain," but it's like it's in the background, but it's like you really don't have to pay attention to it. You know, but it's there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's my whole thing. But overall, I'm gonna give the book I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, just because Robo Bat-eared bunny suit popped up again, and I thought I would never see the thing again. And since Superman destroyed it, we never will see it again. So.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it too. I thought this was cool. Okay, next I got is Detective Comics, and yes, the Year of the Villain shit bleeds into this crap too. So
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. All right, so basically Nora Freeze is alive, but she is just like Mr. Freeze. She has to remain in the cold suit to stay alive. She
so
hasn't got
Mrs. Freeze.
Yeah, we have a Mrs. Freeze. She, but in order to keep her helmet off, she needs to, you know, finish the procedure. But Batman had fucked up all, you know, when Batman raided his crib and took all his shit. He doesn't have the formulas he needs. But he had stashed them in Wayne Industries when he used to work there. So basically, it's the team up. Nora, Mr. and Mrs. Freeze. They go and raid the Wayne Tech or Wayne Industry. They run into Bruce and Lucius Fox, and there's like a really cool conversation. I guess Bruce knew Nora back in the day, before she got cancer and all that, and she starts giving him shit about pulling the funding on cryo research.
Oh, you know? Okay.
Yeah,
he did it.
Yeah, they get it. She kind of tells Bruce Wayne off and shit. It was kind of cool. But they end up getting the formula, and Mr. Freeze completes the procedure on Nora, and now she's just like him. She's Mrs. Freeze. She doesn't have to wear the helmet or anything or being contained like that anymore. So they sort of have a night on the town. They go around fucking shit up. She used to be in a ballet. You know, she used to be a dancer, so they go to the ballet, and she is on. This was cool. She's on stage, you know, dancing, and Mr. Freeze is watching her. And then it shows a wide shot of the audience. They froze everybody in the audience.
Wow.
So yeah, that was cool. But then the big Lex Luthor sign shows in the sky, and whatever that means.
I don't know what it means either. It happened in Batman and Superman, so it was like, okay, something's about to happen.
Lex Luthor, whatever. This was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. There was, in the beginning, my only critique is like, I wish they would have went in, because when she first wakes up and him and Victor and Nora have that first conversation, and it's a really deep, you know, deep emotional scene. She's like, why didn't you let me die? I wanted to die on my own terms. I only had 2 years left. Why did you freeze me? I could have lived my life on my terms and all that. And he was like, no, I could not watch you die. I would not, blah, blah, blah. So this is really deep emotional scene that I felt they should have extended a little bit. I don't know. It just seemed abrupt. Like she sort of resents him at first, but then the next scene, oh, they're together and they're doing crimes. So there was it kind of jump forward. You know what I mean? Skipped a bunch of emotion. I don't know. I just thought that was a really powerful scene, and it kind of just didn't go anywhere after that. So, but other than that, it was a 4 out of 5. You know.
Okay, cool. Well, last book I got is what is it? Action Comics, what? 1016?
Okay.
I think I might have fucked the number up. Anyway, basically what the book is part 2 of the the Naomi, crossover tie-in or whatever.
That's where I checked it out. I said, "Oh, Naomi's back, and it looks like she's doing shit." And
yeah, because the first book she didn't do anything. So yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting book. This is Bendis is kind of playing around with the narrative on this one. So the whole 3/4 of the book is actually narrated by Tris Q. So Tris Q is a brand new Bendis character that he created, basically an Asian reporter. I think she's like the gossip section or whatever. She's a reporter. Mm-hmm. And the whole story, 3/4 of the story is basically told her just interviewing, people on the street. Like, what did they see? And they're basically telling the story of what they saw, that Superman was fighting Red Cloud and he got his ass kicked, until somebody else showed up and helped him out. Now, before they finished that, then we cut to 22 minutes later to the Hall of Justice, and Batman is, talking to Naomi, saying, okay, I figured out your powers, where you come from, stuff like that. They see on the TV, they see Red Cloud, kicking the shit out of Superman. And Naomi's like, I gotta go help him. And Batman's like, under no circumstances do you go. You are too powerful and you are, untested. We can't let somebody as powerful as you go out there and, do things. You're like, oh, I'm powerful? Okay, Batman, I'm out. And when she leaves, Batman just has like a smile on his face. So he was playing her the whole time. He wanted her to do this shit.
Fucking dick.
So Naomi goes out there. She attacks Red Cloud. She actually get Red Cloud off Superman for a while, let him catch his breath. And then Red Cloud beats the shit out of Naomi. Superman's like, okay, I've actually been holding back with you the whole time. But when you did that shit, I'm pissed now. Now we're going all out. So she rushes at him. He rushes at him. They do some weird shit, and eventually she runs away. But she didn't run away. She disappears, some shit like that. So nobody finds out what the fuck happens. So she leaves. Cut to the end. Now they're talking to the Queen Pen. The Queen Pen has been in control of Red Cloud the whole time, but Lex Luthor did some bullshit to make her more powerful than even Superman. So she well, the part of our invisible mafia no reason to be invisible anymore. So it might have been reveal ourselves and show Metropolis how powerful we really are. That's how the book cuts off. The end. So cool book. Overall, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. We still don't know what the fuck Naomi can do. They know. Oh yeah, and they meet Naomi's parents also, Batman and Superman. And she's like, Batman's like, ma'am, how you doing? And Batman's just like, I'm Batman. And the mom's like, yeah, you are. She wanna know who Batman is. But anyway, 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. Cool story. One of the better Bendis books. I just like that Bendis was playing around with the narrative. Whenever a writer does things because it feels like that's something that can only be done in a comic, with the way he was telling the story. That's why I like, especially with the way the layout was done. So I like how he utilized the medium. That's all. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess the last book I'll do is this Count Crowley, Reluctant Midnight Monster Hunter.
Okay.
So this was written by that David Dastmalchian, or how do you say his name? He was in like Ant-Man. He was one of Ant-Man's homies. He was in The Dark Knight, one of the Jokers.
The guy that said the Baba Yaga?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know he was a writer.
Yeah, so he wrote this book. And it's basically a throwback to Tales from the Crypt, Elvira, It's basically about this horror TV show host. It takes place back in the 80s. And there's this TV station. They do this show, like a horror presents, and there's a host, like Elvira, like an Elvira type of host who hosts these horror movies. Well, basically the host went missing, and there's this other news lady. She's a reporter. She's an alcoholic. She's a fuck up. She's, she ends up losing her job as a reporter, and they end up reluctantly hire her. Hey, well, our horror host hasn't shown up for, 2 weeks. Can you fill in? Can you just host the show and then we don't have to fire you? So she like, oh, fuck it, whatever. It's a job. And she ends up, taking the job, hosting these horror movies, these cheesy horror movies on Friday nights or whatever. And basically at the end of the book, a real werewolf shows up while she's leaving the station. So that's like the big twist. So yeah, that must have what happened to the last horror host. They're a real monster hunter, I guess, hence the title. It was okay. I liked the story. I just thought in the middle it got a little slow because they were just it got a little redundant about how shitty her life was. You know what I mean? She loses her job. She's an alcoholic. She's banging all these dudes at the bar. She's, doesn't care. It was like 2 or 3 pages too long of just her fucked up life. You're just like, okay, let's get on with it. You know what I mean? But other than that, it did just enough for me where I'm on board for issue 2. So I'm a horror guy, so I thought this was pretty cool.
Okay.
So I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. Cool story. I'm booked out. I think you're booked out. Yeah, definitely. If you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. Definitely listen to Eli's our sister podcast, Geek Sav, hosted by Eli. We also have a ton of other podcasts. We have Comic Cast. Like I said, we were kind of light on the comic reviews. So what we didn't do, you want to hear the amazing story of Mary Jane, whatever like that? I'm pretty sure they did it. Listen to them. They figured it out. And Red Hood and the Outlaws.
And G.I. Joe.
Yeah. And what else? Hoodoo TV. We got Get Valiant. I'm pretty sure they went 2 hours on Bloodshot last week. So they're probably another 2 hours this week.
I saw them post that episode. I haven't listened to it yet.
I'm gonna listen to it. I want to see them freak the fuck out. I just want to hear it.
Oh!
We got Hoodoo TV. We also had Talking Balls, and we got a wrestling podcast. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I know Boogie's doing another. I think so. Yeah. Some other podcast with
Boogie
wrestling.
is the hardest working man at Outright Geekery. Goldman, he's coming for your spot.
He's the podcaster. Like, damn, he's trying to get paid doing this shit.
Right. And like I said,
don't swear, we're gonna lose our sponsor.
Right. Like only if we gave a fuck that much.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is the last week of October. Next week we'll be smack dab in November, and we will have some new stuff then, and we'll see what happens then. So until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
And you rat soup eating insecure motherfucker.
He's a tough son of a gun, y'all. Alias Dolemite. I heard of his coming even before his time, and I ain't lying. Listen, on the day that he was born, his pappy wore a sign saying Dolemite is here, and this bad brother is mine. You're